Alright, we are live. We're going to do some high time frame analysis real quick, and also I have the lower time frame chart pulled up over here. Let's take a look at what's going on. So, I said earlier last week, or I don't remember when it was, but I was posting in the server about how we essentially had. So the first thing I noticed going into basically the last few days is we get this giant bearish SMT where on Monday we get a lower high and then a higher high on the S&P and then a higher high, lower high on the NASDAQ. So here's that SMT. That was the first thing that I noticed going into this week. And then we do as well have a bullish SMT right here. So I guess I can't be too biased, but we also had this lower time frame SMT right here. So we had SMT with Monday's high, and then we had an SMT with it was this high and this high. And so I talked about how going into, Wednesday, we had an order block here and then another order block here, and you can see this became a propulsion block, and we got a very explosive move to the downside off of that propulsion block. Now I'm going to turn on my session highs and lows on my other screen here. And as well, I do think it's interesting that I talked about this going into, literally when we were all the way down here, I said I think we'll come up and possibly try and fill this new day opening gap. I said that all the way over here. And then what happened? We go to the midpoint, get a reaction. We go to the high, get a reaction. So right now, we closed below this old 1 hour for value gap. This is telling me order flow is bearish right now. We just inversed this 1 hour for value gap. So I'm bearish. I think we'll probably start moving towards this low here. And we also are reacting off this new day opening gap. So I'm bearish. We have a 1 hour for value gap. Maybe we want to tap into this. But honestly, I could see us just going straight down and running this low here. And this low is actually also Asia's lows. So we have Asia's lows right there. And honestly, I'm going to have previous day's high and low on the same indicator as my session highs and lows. I think that will help me. Okay, it should show up now. Okay, it's not supposed to be dark blue. I want it to be light blue. Light blue and dotted. And then, yeah, that looks good. Man, previous day's low is all the way over there. That's crazy. Previous day's low is pretty far away. Alright, hang on. I gotta... What's it called? I gotta... want to get rid of New York lunch. If I'm trading PM, I'd want New York lunch, but genuinely, if I'm not trading PM, that's kind of pointless to have. Okay, so I think actually we'll probably just start to dump here pretty soon, right to Asia's lows. So if we can get a trade down to Asia's lows, maybe we'll get a breaker trade or something down to Asia's lows. That would be kind of cool. Actually, we are getting a breaker trade right now. Yeah, we're getting a breaker trade right now. We got a breaker here overlapping with a fair value gap. So we're honestly about to dump. We're about to dump. Maybe we'll get a final push up here. Maybe not. Okay, it's time to go over to MNQ, lower time frame chart here. So, like I said, here's that breaker block. Bias is bearish to Asia's lows right now, just based off of how we're reacting off of that new day opening gap. So here's that breaker. Here's this fair value gap. And honestly, yeah, we are drawing to Asia's lows right now. You can see how we pushed in there, right? So we're gonna dump. I'm just trying to figure out. It's like this was this trade you would take here. That's a nice breaker. I mean, it really is. This is gonna work. I'm almost certain. So, dang it, man. Like, do I have to get on the charts even earlier? Like, I got on the charts so early today, too. Because I would have taken this for sure. You know what? I'm not going to be upset about it. But you can see how this quick pop and market structure shift. You see that quick pop and market structure shift? When you get this quick pop up above an old high, like that, this quick pop above an old high and then immediate market structure shift, this is like the best signature and price in the world for a breaker. Just quick pop and then shift. And it's in line with our higher time frame bias. So you can see how, yeah, we inversed this 1 hour for value gap. So I would expect probably us to go to this low, which is also Asia's lows. And I actually think that once we run this low, we'll probably get very, very aggressive and we will move down pretty aggressively down to this low. Just because all of these lows are probably low resistance. And we have PM's lows from over here. So anyway, back to our higher time frame chart. Yeah, let's pull up the hourly. So we reacted off this new day opening gap, and then we got this this breaker and this fair value gap overlapping with each other. We got to pop in there. So what we might want to look for is possibly when we get a reaction off of this fair value gap after sweeping Asia's lows, we might get some kind of a reversal. You can see this is a pretty nice imbalance here. So I would be looking for a pop into this fair value gap, and then possibly if we inverse back to the upside, maybe we'll target, I don't know, probably these relatively equal highs here. That's what I would say, honestly. But I would like to take a trade to the downside since our bias is so bearish, you know. But yeah, just like we anticipated, we're almost down to that low. This was an excellent trade. Anyway, let's do some more analysis here. Back to our hourly chart. Like I said, that propulsion block is very explosive. In a very similar way, we kind of have, I'm trying to think. We kind of have a propulsion block here. It's not exactly clear, but like this order block, right? I guess, I don't know. It's not exactly clear. It's like, well, this one's a little bit more ambiguous, but push into that, push into this, and yeah, starting to move aggressively down towards this low. And then, like I said, I think that if we can just start to move down a little bit lower, I really don't think, maybe we'll get a quick pop here, but if anything, I think we're going to go straight down this fair value gap. And then honestly, we got a lot of low resistance liquidity here, so I'm expecting maybe we'll go down and take that out, especially if we can inverse this fair value gap. If this becomes an IFG, this becomes very, very powerful. You can see also here that we have so far held this small BPR here. So if I turn up the 2 hour, maybe the 4 hour, you can see how this wicked into it, right? It's a giant wick on the 4 hour. So this is a 1 hour. I would honestly call this a 1 hour BPR. I'm gonna get the trade pulled up on this other screen here. But that trade was good. It's unfortunate because if I was on the chart just a little earlier, I probably would have taken that. But whatever. Such an A+ trade. Gosh. Like, I tweeted this out, guys. I tweeted this out last night. If you see this signature in price, if you see this signature in price where you see this quick pop above a old high and then a market structure shift, this is what you want to see. Oh my. This is so crazy. Gosh. It's literally happening right now. Guys, remember this signature in price. This quick pop above an old high and then a market structure shift. You guys see how powerful this is. I mean, genuinely. It's really, really nice. Anyway, I want to be able to take a trade on a moment's notice, so I'm going to take short position and long position. I'm going to keep them off the side here. And I will open my trade of 8 just because I want to be able to be ready for my trades. If I need to take a trade, I want to be able to take a trade. So I want to be ready. Like, I don't want to have to log in and not know what I'm doing. I want to be able to take a trade if I want to take a trade. So, IRL to ERL. I think we're just about to go to that. Here. You see how we inverse this for value gap? This 30-minute. Oh, that's a beautiful inverse for value gap right there. Right down to Asia's lows. Okay, we just inverse this. Or we could be about to inverse this. But look at how we have this giant draw on liquidity below. Would this be a good inverse? No, because we haven't taken sell side. We need to take this sell side liquidity before we get anything to the upside. Because realize this is a 15-minute for value gap. Or this is actually. Hang on, let's actually look real quick for This could be a new day opening gap. Yeah, we got a new day opening gap all the way down here. So the market is probably not only drawing there. Oh, you know what? Another reason this trade was so good is we were delivering from Event Horizon. Okay, here's 8:30. I think we could get a move down off of 8:30. Where's midnight? So we got the new day opening gap right here. Below Asia's lows. Okay, come on, let's see. We got a 5-minute fair value gap here. I will take this on my account if we get this. Wait. Oh no, I want to take this. How many contracts? 16? I missed it. I legit was so close to taking this. We had 4 seconds to the candle close. Dang it, bro. All right, right to that new day opening gap, just like we said. Exactly like we said. I guess let's go back to the higher time frame and talk about where we could be going. So, personally, I'm still bearish. I think we're gonna go to this fair value gap here, because once again, right, what's happening? We got a reaction off of this 4-hour BPR or this 2-hour BPR, whatever, 1-hour BPR, whatever you want to call it. You got two bearish SMTs. You got a sweep of this internal high. I couldn't get in it, so I called it in live time. But I called this entire trade in live time. You can see this is the most. Sorry, so this isn't even the original trade. That was just a second trade that I almost took. The trade that I initially called in live time, you can see right here, it's this breaker and this fair value gap overlapping with each other. You can see a high, low, higher high. It's a signature in price where it pops above an old high, and then you get a shift. The signature in price, where this happens, you get that pop above an old high, and then a shift the other direction. That is the signature you want to see with a breaker. So I knew this was going to be a good trade. We pushed back into here. This is where I would have entered, but I got on the charts at... I did not get on the charts this early. I got on the charts at 8:30. So I get on the charts. I see this already happened. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the entry, but then I would have targeted Asia's lows. And you can see how this is within the context of the higher time frame model, right? We got two bearish SMTs right here. So bearish SMT, bearish SMT. And then we got a reaction off of this 1-hour BPR and then new weak opening gap. See how we filled the new weak opening gap perfectly? And so we were right here. We inversed this 1-hour gap. You could expect us to at least go run this low, right? At least go run this low. So it was a very high conviction trade because we reacted off that new weak opening gap. We inversed this 1-hour gap, and we should at least go run this low. So within the context of that higher time frame model, you take a trade like this, it's like, this is going to be a really high conviction trade. And so, anyway, I got on the charts here, and so then I almost took this trade because I had such high conviction in the higher time frame bias. Once we inverse back down to the downside here, I almost took this one, but this, I had like 5 seconds to enter the position because I barely just saw it inversing right as it was happening, and so I didn't get it. And then you can see we instantly started dumping. So I unfortunately didn't get either of those entries, but you can see how they both ended up working out. So anyway, I do think that we will get a reaction to the upside here because this is a new day opening gap. So if I pull up, yeah, this is a new day opening gap overlapping with a 15-minute fair value gap. But I'm bearish, so I'm going to be cautious on longs personally. I would like to see, trying to think of how maybe we could do this. How could we get a trade? Let's pull up the higher time frame. So I think we're just gonna start dumping, and we're gonna go run all of these lows here down to this fair value gap. So this is probably where I'd want to target because this is also New York PM's lows. If I go to the lower time frame, you can see how this over here, it's New York PM's lows overlapping with, I need to turn on the previous day's high and low. I guess previous day's low is all the way down here. But I think we're going to start dumping pretty soon. So, so our question here is, how do we get an entry, right? You can see this is actually becoming an hourly breaker block. If we close below here, this will be an hourly breaker block, because low, high, or high, low, higher, high, lower, low. Oh, and then also something else to note is that this is a 6-hour BPR. So we're reacting off a 6-hour BPR. We got two SMTs. See this? 6-hour BPR, two SMTs, and then within that, this 4-hour BPR, and we got a ton of low resistance lows here. All these, all this. The market's drawing there, right? So, anyway, honestly, I don't even know. We probably won't even come back up all the way to that high. So I think maybe I'll just take it in the next inversion we can get back to the downside. I'll probably take it. Only problem is we did just sweep Asia's lows. The nice thing about this is there's a quick stop loss to break even. Oh, shoot. I'm gonna try this. Okay, how do I move stop loss to break even at this low here? Because I'm gonna move stop loss to break even at this low. Okay, stop loss to break even. How do I even move stop loss to break even on here? Okay, I got stopped at break even. I probably could have had that be a higher conviction trade. And I was supposed to do two separate. Dang, dude. I was supposed to do two separate. I messed that up, dude. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna still take this because it's still valid, and it wasn't. So my stop loss will be a close above this fair value gap. I don't. How do I even set a stop loss on here? Okay. How do I set a stop loss on here? I don't know what I'm. So I basically I went and entered this inversion once we retraced here, and then we immediately closed above the old fair value gap, and then I exited the position for a very small loss. I don't know if you can hear me, but that's what happened, right? So I, it's so frustrating because I saw the best trade in the world up here, and then I tried to take this after sweeping Asia's lows, and it wasn't nearly as good. It was just me trying to force a trade. That was me trying to force a trade. Dang, dude. All right. Okay. Um. All right. I didn't lose anything really. Like I didn't even like barely. I barely lost. I only lost 60 on the eval. It's just like I just know I shouldn't have taken that because we took Asia's lows. It just wasn't a good trade. All right, I'm just gonna trade on demo now. I think this will be a good trade. I'm gonna take this on demo. It's just stressful. Like, it's just really stressful when I don't even know how to set a stop loss on the Tradevate account. I still don't know how to do that. So it's just like, it's really stressful for me. I'm gonna take this on demo. I don't know what I'm doing. That's not a good trade. I'm just gonna clear my chart. Honestly, I just need to step away from the screen for a bit. Yeah, I just need to step away from the screen for a bit. I'm just kind of like, honestly, it's just hard because when you come onto the charts and you see a trade that was really good and you miss it, like this, when you come onto the charts, you see this perfect trade down to Asia's lows and then you miss it. It honestly, puts you on tilt. Like, this puts me on tilt. When I see a perfect trade like this and I miss it, and then I see another really good trade and then I miss it, that puts me on tilt. And so I just get into this mindset of like, I have to force a trade. So I try to take this trade. And then I immediately get stopped out. You see that? You see what happened here? So what happened was I got on the charts, saw this, saw it was immediate winner, saw this, saw it was immediate winner. So I get in the mindset of I need to force a trade. Like, I'm jealous, right? I'm jealous that these trades already happened. I want to force a trade. So then I just go in and take this after I know fully that we had already taken Asia's lows and we were in a 15-minute fair value gap. I knew all that, but I just really wanted to force a trade because I was upset that I missed these other two. And so I tried to take this one knowing it was bad, and I still took it, and I should not have done that. I have to work on myself a little bit. I'm just gonna go take a break. I'll be back. Yeah, I'm just gonna step away from the screen. I'm getting a little tilted. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I honestly, the reality of trading is that it's very stressful, and it does not help when I don't know how to even set a stop loss on this Tradeovate account. When, for instance, when I click sell, you know what I could just do? Oh, yeah, okay, hard stop loss will be always at 300s. Okay, all right, I have an idea. So I'll know. Okay, I figured it out. Okay, so when I enter a trade on Tradeovate, what I need to do, for instance, let's say here, I'm supposed to risk 10, right? Or 15 or whatever. 14. I will do 2 sets of 7 since my risk on here is 200. You can see my risk in here is 200. I put in 200. What I'm going to do is when you get here, I'm going to do so it was 14 contracts, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 sets of 7 and then do it's so stressful to figure out in the heat of the moment. And that's where I just crack under the pressure because I'm like, it's already stressful enough to figure out the trade and to find the trade and to make sure it's a good trade. Then to combine it with the fact that I don't really know how to set my stop loss on Tradeovate is really, really stressful for me. But I think what I'll do is because also you guys saw how I clicked sell twice and then it combined the contracts into one order. That was confusing, that was stressful too. So like, I'm trying to think how to do this for the future, right? Because I can't even practice this on demo right now. I can only execute these on Tradeovate. I think for now, the important thing is to set my stop loss and take profit. So I'm just going to focus on that, and I will figure out how to set partials later. But it's already stressful enough to figure out the trade. I honestly, I am just going to work on making sure my stop loss and take profit are set, and that's it. And so I'll probably just set my stop loss for 300, but then obviously I'm going to stop myself out sooner than that if it closes above the old fair value gap. And then I'll just have to do math. So like, for instance, this was a 4-to-1, so I would probably set take profit at 800 in this case, if that makes sense. It's just frustrating because I want to practice on the trade of eval, and I can't even practice without having it be a real trade. So yeah, what I'll do is let's say I was taking this 15-minute IPG up to London's highs. Actually, that's actually kind of a good trade. We closed above this 3-minute gap. I think I'm going to try this on demo. Bro, I don't even know how to get to demo right now. It just gets very overwhelming really easily if I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Eight contracts. Uh, 700. So stop loss if we close back below here. Stop loss is a close back below this old for value gap. Yeah, that wasn't a good trade. That was stupid. Alright, stopped out. Okay. Whatever. Um. This is a 1 hour for value gap. I actually kind of think we're about to dub. Yeah, I think we're gonna go down to this. Oh man, I'm getting a headache. Oh, this would have been a good inversion. Okay, I need another break. I'm really out of it right now. Yeah. Like I said, I think we're gonna go. Like that. I need another break though. I'm just kind of. Yeah. we just inverse that 5-minute gap. Just inverse this. So we're probably gonna dump. You can see why we reacted there. That was a new day opening gap. I think once we get through here, we should start to accelerate faster towards that draw. just swept out this low. Reacting off that new day opening gap. I mean, if we get this to the upside, it's kind of nice. I think my issue is patience. Okay. Bruh, I hate the fact that I always analyze the wrong chart. Now I can't even enter the contracts that I want to buy. It's not a good trade, but it might work. This one didn't work. I need to have a new rule where, um, like I just can't analyze the lower time frame on the NQ. I can't analyze lower time frame on NQ1, because that will mess me up. Like I always think, oh, I'm gonna put in my stop short or long position. I'm like, oh shoot, I'm analyzing the wrong thing. That's the whole reason I have another screen, is so I can have NQ1 pulled up on the other screen. And we got a bullish SMT. After sweeping Asia's lows here. Okay, this is a good trade. This is genuinely a good trade. Pushing back into this breaker. Up to London's highs. Practicing doing this. I guess technically this breaker did not hold before, so maybe it's not that good. Look at this. Low, high, lower low, higher high. Breaker just completely failed. Alright, I'm just gonna... No lower time frame charts for NQ1. That's all I'm saying. So here's the issue, right? If I have the lower time frame chart for NQ1 pulled up and I'm ready to take a trade, I go up and I pull up my long position, and then I realize, oh my gosh, that's not the amount of contracts I'm supposed to buy. And so then I have to go over, switch to the different asset, and then I have to get my long position, and then I have to adjust, and then I have to enter. And by the time I do all of that, like, it's so stressful. Like, that's the whole reason I've been so stressed out right now. And I can't even practice on my trade evade because I can only take one trade a day. Oh well. speed chart time. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll have, where do I do higher time frame analysis then? On this chart maybe? I could probably just do higher time frame stuff on here. Okay, that's what I'll do. So let's just get rid of this then, because we don't need that. If I want to do a higher time frame on NQ, I'll do this. I just want to keep them separate. Okay. Alright, I'm starting to get a little bit better at this. I'm starting to get locked in. So okay. You guys can't see the screen though, that's the only thing. Yo, I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. So I want to simplify my setup so that way I only have MNQ and then another chart with the S&P and the NASDAQ. So for instance, this is on my other screen. You can't see this, but this is on my other screen. And I need to be able to, I'm trying to think of how to put it. Like, I want to be able to show you guys the higher time frame analysis I'm doing, but if I'm doing it on my other screen, then you can't see it. Okay, I have the idea. I am going to have one, so I have the S&P and NASDAQ 1 minute charts on my right hand screen. I have my executable chart right here. So this is where I go to execute. Then I have this, which is the chart that I'll be doing my analysis on. Okay, this sounds good. So, actually we are getting, okay, let's do our analysis here. So I can see the chart on the other screen. So okay. Like I've been saying, there's SMT here. And then oh, interesting. So there's also, so there's SMT right here, and there's SMT with this high. And then on the lower time frame, we have SMT here. Then we're delivering from this this 6-hour BPR here. And then we got a reaction off of this. Okay, going on the lower time frame. We have relatively equal highs on the NASDAQ. We have relatively equal highs right here. We have this BPR right here. And then I'm going to turn on New Day opening gaps. We swept out Asia's lows. You can see how we swept out Asia's lows. And we have equal highs here. We have the mean threshold of this order block. I think we could get up to here. Okay. We're actually getting stopped right now at this New Day opening gap. And we might get an SMT if we take this high. So we might get SMT here. Alright. You can see how all this was low resistance. This was a nice inversion right here. Asia's low swept, internal sweep. See, we swept Asia's lows, we got an internal sweep. And then we got a 3-minute inversion here. And this was also a 5-minute inversion. Now, you could have possibly gotten stopped out at break even. Like, if you put your stop loss to break even right here, then you would have got stopped at break even. That's unfortunate. Alright, we're hitting that level. So we are getting SMT. So this might be turtle soup at the top here. This could be the high. Could you imagine? Sweep of London's highs as well. It's not a. It's not. I shouldn't be practicing that kind of stuff, but I think that could hit.